Welcome back to the new setting. In this video I'm going to tell you all about QL trigger points and how they are properly contributing to your lower back pain. Now, who am I to talk about this? My name is Ben. I'm the founder of Back Muscle Solutions. This channel and all this content is how I got a brutal 4 years of lower back pain and how I now help other people do the same. So what is the QL? What are QL trigger points and why should you care at all? So the QL is a very deep four-sided lower back muscle that lies on both sides of the lumbar spine. It connects from the top of the hip to the bottom of the rib cage and all along the lumbar vertebrae. And what happens when this muscle gets tight and weak and develops trigger points and knots, it gets short and tight and it causes a whole bunch of problems. So if you have kind of non-specific lower back pain and you're not sure where it came from, there's a good chance that QL trigger points are at least in part at play here. It might not be the only problem, but there's a good chance that it's 30, 60, 70, even 90% of your back pain source. And some of the patterns and symptoms that you will feel if you're experiencing QL trigger points is a general weakness and discomfort. If you're always feeling like you're walking on eggshells and you don't have any stability or strength or confidence in your back, your QLs are probably short, tight, and weak. It's really not a fun place to be. You feel like you're going to trigger your back pain at any moment. Bending forward probably hurts. Lifting things up may be impossible. Kind of like any light movement where you're twisting, turning, bending, lifting could just set off your back and send you into the pain cave for days. And these QL trigger points probably showed up at one point in time when your back went through some sort of period of stress where it was either not conditioned or not strong enough to do a stress that you were placing on it. So like if you're trying to lift a couch that's too heavy, or you're going to play pickup basketball and you play for 3 hours and your QLs can't take that stress over the entire duration, there's a good chance they lock up, develop pain, and you can hold that pain for potentially years. Now, what do you do about QL trigger points? How do you fix this problem? A deep tissue massage to actually iron out physically the QL trigger points and knots. But if you know anything about me or this channel, I actually made a tool so that you can do this at home by yourself. It's called the QL Claw. It's the best tool to release the QL muscle and all the other muscles that could potentially be causing your back pain. So if you're doing this at home and you want to release your QL muscle, what you're going to want to do is you're going to take your tool of choice, hopefully QL Claw, and you are going to aim for the trigger points, the tender spots on the QL muscle specifically. Now lay on your tool for about 1 to 2 minutes, 2 to 3 times a day, and you should feel a ton of relief at that point. Usually you don't need to do it more than a couple days consecutively. If you keep doing it and you're not feeling much relief, it's probably other muscles, other problems that are at play here. But if the QL muscle is a problem, you should feel a ton of relief within just your first couple sessions. Here you see me doing it with the QL Claw, working in some deep tissue massage here. I like to get a little bit of active motion in with my legs to help kind of work the muscle with more force and floss back and forth on it. It tends to work out the knots a lot better. Now, once you're done with your deep tissue massage, you thoroughly ironed out all the knots and trigger points in your QL muscle, it's very important to strengthen it so that you don't fall back into this pain that you're in right now. Because if you don't strengthen and build some endurance in your QL muscle, there's a good chance that you're just going to fall right back into your pain. You need to build up some stamina and strength so that you're strong enough to withstand daily life. If your QLs are too weak or they lack endurance, you probably can't sit in a stool comfortably for long periods of time without pain. And a few exercises you can do to build up some strength and resilience and endurance in this muscle are the side plank, suitcase carry, and overhead payloft press. Once you progress these exercises over a couple weeks and months, you're going to feel a lot more just strength and resilience and confidence in your back. You're just going to be more resilient day to day, and a couple months down the road, you'll probably bend over to pick something up and not even know your back pain ever happened. Now, if you don't do this, if you ignore the QL and the QL trigger points, you could potentially be missing out on a ton of lower back pain relief. A little bit about my background is I was on a 4-year brutal journey in and out of doctors, PTs, chiropractors trying to solve my back pain. And one thing that finally unlocked it at the end of my 4-year journey was learning the QL muscle, learning how to master it and iron out all the trigger points in it. That was the first time I felt real relief in a long time, and then from there I was able to strengthen the muscle through the side plank, suitcase carries. But none of that would have been possible if I didn't iron out the trigger points first. So get yourself a QL Claw, do it at home, fix this problem for good. If you like this video on QL trigger points, check out my video on QL strengthening exercises to help beat your back pain for good. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate you guys for the support, and we'll see you in the next one.